welcome to Christy's Stampin' Spot. I'm excited to show you this card. I was going through the online store and I came across a picture that they had for the Christmas Gleaming set, and I recognized it immediately from one that was in the catalog from last year. So our Christmas Gleaming is one of the stamp sets that and papers that came back from last year. And in the holiday catalog, the 2019 holiday catalog, you can see the picture up here in the top corner. That's actually the card that we're going to make today. So last year I had wanted to make this card, but we had, like, I think the hammered metal was on back order, the embossing folder was on back order for a while, and then the paper went away like super quick. So we're really glad they're both here, and I love that the hammered 3D hammered metal is in the main catalog. But so I was like, oh, I can make that card. So I was like, oh, I must make it. So that is what we're going to do today. So I've been having like a slew of technical difficulties, some my fault, some beyond my control. So my website, so it's not up, the blog is not up yet because I was having a terrible time. My site kept going down because GoDaddy's been having trouble. But if you are a member of TAMS, you can find it under my TAMS. But it'll be up. I have it ready to go. I just need to finish a few things, so it'll be up in the next 2 hours. But I have all of the measurements is already on the TAMS, but it's not up on my blog yet. So hopefully it'll be up soon. So I actually played when I was making this. I tried to do it to see if I liked it with the words in the peacock instead of in the black, but I think I like the black better. So that's actually what we're going to make today. And then I used a little bit more. On this one I designed it, I wanted to make it a little bit more of the gold shiny, and I think it actually looks better with less. So, but I'm really excited about showing you guys the technique to make the leaves. So if you guys can see the leaves, the holly leaves, so you just stamp that in the memento. Then I'm going to show you how to make that variation of color with your blends. So, and we don't have a garden green, so the base that we're using is garden green, but we don't have a garden green blend, but I'll show you how to make it so it matches, and it looks good. So I'm very excited. Okay, so like I said, we're using the fabulous Christmas Gleaming stamp set. Ooh, let me go ahead and move my, when I didn't even move my thing down. It was already down to begin with. Let's see here. There we go. Need to get that out of the way so you can see me. Oh, it went back. I have to be careful on how I move that so it doesn't keep going. Anyway, okay. So the Christmas Gleaming stamp set, which is super awesome. It has these gorgeous ornaments. I love this set because you can make some great ornament cards and ornaments. So I'll have some later on in the season. But it also has a coordinating punches. Although we're not using those today, the punches are pretty awesome. And what's exciting about what we have this year that we didn't have last year is they actually have a variety bundle. So you can save 10% when you get all three. So when you can get the stamp set, the punch pack, as well as this DSP. And this DSP is absolutely gorgeous. So we're just going to use a strip of it today. And we're using like almost the boring side of the strip today. Look how gorgeous this paper is. So it's 12 by 12. So you get 2 sheets of each. So can you see all that shine on the specialty DSP? And then there's some stars. I love the stars, actually. Look at that geometric. Oh, so pretty. And there's some stripes. And then here's those gorgeous ornaments that are in that copper. Pretty. And then there's lovely green on the back. And this is the page that we're going to use today. But look how gorgeous the back is. I love this piece so much. It kind of hurts me a little bit to use this side, but I knew I wanted to because that is what they're using for this card. Isn't that gorgeous? And then here's some more of that geometric shape. And the stars. Like, I love these stars, especially with the stitch stars. I made some very cute projects with this in the past, and I cannot wait to play with some more of that paper. And this one is so pretty. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of that. We used to have an Eastern medallion or something that was like that kind of had some shapes like that, but I love that. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty, so pretty. Okay, so that is the DSP, and this is it's the brightly gleaming DSP, specialty DSP, and the Christmas gleaming stamp set, and the gleaming ornaments punch pack. So very fun. Okay, so we need to start with a garden green cardstock card base, and this is just I cut a half of my 8.5 by 11 sheet in half, so it's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then we're going to need a piece of gold foil. Now I've already used my what did I do with that? Here it is right here. I used my hammered metal 3D folder on it already through my fabulous new cut and emboss machine. Love it so much. It's so fabulous. And do this. The gold foil that you need is 4.5 by 3 3/4. And when you put it in here, right, you just put it in. So when you get your Stampin' Up! Embossing folders and you want to know which side is the right side, look for that little, the Stampin' Up! Is on the front. That's where, that's the front. So that if you want it, and on this one, the front is where it's depressed, right? So if you want it to be like mountains, right, the top, bumpy, that would be if you would do it on the other side. You would want the gold foil to be on this side. But for them to be in, you need to make sure you put it on the front, which is the metal. And then I also did 2 strips, and these are for the inside and the back of the card, and they are only at 1/2. No, not 1/2. It's a half. I'm like in my mind 1/2, but it's actually a half, not 1.5. Okay, so a half, and I did it by 3 1/4. So I did the same, it's the same size as my front panel. To make it easy on myself, I always do that. And then you need a very vanilla cardstock label, and this is the 2-inch of the nested stitch labels. These are fabulous. Love the stitch label. So it's this one that's the 2. Oops, that's the wrong one. Put them away, and I shouldn't have. Here you go. Da-da-da. It's the 2-inch one across. Yep. There we go. You can tell that that's what that is. Love that. And also make sure you're careful. It does do the stitch on both sides, so sometimes it's a little hard to get it out of your die from your paper. So just be careful when you're doing that. I love them. I use them all the time. And then you need a piece of inside, which is, I usually do my insides at 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And it's also very vanilla because that's what we're using today, is very vanilla. And I'm going to make sure I set that down over here so I do not actually stamp on that on accident. And then you need a piece of that gorgeous DSP, and it's only 1 inch by 5 inches, so it's not very much. And we're not using the sparkly, because this is that, is it like copper? I forget what the copper foil, yeah, the copper foil accents, which is so pretty. So if you wanted to use this side and the copper, we have copper in the burnished metals, so you could totally get more copper paper to do that with. But oh, that gorgeous, love, love, love. So we're gonna use that piece, and then we need some more vanilla cardstock to stamp our greeting and to make our fabulous hollies. So I love those so much. Okay, so let's start to build our card, and then we'll do some stamping. Okay, so I really love glue usually because it is easy to maneuver. But man, when I use glue, I seem to get it everywhere when I'm using the metallics. So for me, I'm going to use actually my new Stampin' Seal, which I love, love, love. I haven't quite gotten 100%. I want to do the flicky thing that you're not supposed to do that you did with the fast fuse. So it's going to, it goes to edge here. And I'm just going to use my snail, or seal, on my peep. Oops. I'm going to get it to adhere down. And I'm using my craft sheet because I find that I need, when I put my ribbon on my little piece, I totally use the craft sheet. Okay, so put this on. I always want to put it upside down the wrong way. And let me put my glasses on so I can actually see what I'm doing. Do-do-do. So I hope you guys keep your catalogs. I don't know if you do or not. I always keep them. And I actually go to my local printer or to Staples, and I actually have mine bound. So I have, oh, hi, Lisa. I have my, like, this is the 2019 one, and I have it bound so I can keep it nice. So I can look, because whenever we buy things in here and we want to go back and use them, the ideas are still good, even for future projects. I can always find all the information. I love that. Okay. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. I love this hammered 3D, hammered metal 3D embossing folder. So nice. Okay, so we got that on, and then we need to do, this is the next piece with our DSP. So like I said, I use my craft mat. I always put a little bit, so I'm going to use the gold thread, and it is from the Forever Greenery pack, and it is the combo pack, and I find that I have a lot of trouble with it fraying, and it's very slippery for me, my fat fingers. I have a terrible time. So I put a little bit of the seal on the back of it, because I'm going to go ahead and use the seal to adhere it to my card front. But this way I can use it while I try to maneuver to put the bow together. And so I'm going to use the seal to kind of hold. I'm only wrapping it once. Now I think in the card, they use the linen, but because I was using the gold foil, I'm like, oh, I should totally use the gold, because we have this gorgeous gold trim that's in that pack, and it is a little bit more difficult. And then I'm going to use the trick and use my piece of um, glue dot. No, I got a thing that's in my computer wants to restart. Isn't that how that always is? Next time I go offline, it will want to restart. Okay, so let's go. Let me cut that off. So I found that with this one, I really needed to actually use like the adhesive on the back to hold it, because it's so slippery. And then I'm going to actually put the glue dot right here on top. You guys see that? Just so that I have a little bit of help hold this down, because this stuff is so slippery. And then I get it to fray too pretty good. Get it pretty tight. And then I'm not going to cut my my little tails until after I get the card completely together. I can see where it sits on behind the holly, so that I don't get it too short or too long. And I find the more I play with it, the more it unravels. As you can see, it's starting to art. This one side's already unraveling. It just wants to unravel. I mean, it looks gorgeous when it's unraveled, but until you can get it the way you like it. There we go. I have a big bow on that one. Let's see if I should make it smaller. No, I think that looks good. All right, muy bien. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and turn this over, and I'm just going to add more seal to the back. I find if you get your seal stuck, you can do it on your craft mat, and then you've got it in a good place if you needed to actually. Here we go. Muy bien. That time went really well. Okay. Then we can put that in here. Do. Okay, so I want this to be in the middle. My tag or label. I want it to be like right here in the middle. And I want it to be like right here. So I just want to double check I had it in the right place. There you go. Bien. Okay, like I said, I haven't cut my tails. I'll do that. See how one side's already starting to fray? I mean, it looks really pretty, but it's out of control. This stuff is out of control. I love it, but it's out of control. So I think it's linen thread, which we do still have in the catalog, is what we're using for that they used in the catalog. So isn't that pretty? Oh, love, love, love. Okay. Then let's do our first tag. So this is the Very Vanilla Stitch label, and we're going to use the Memento Black. I decided I like the Memento better. And we are going to use the Ambi Jolly this season. So if we look at where we had it in the card, I think I want it to be a little bit further down than I had it before, but you don't want it like in the middle, so it's a little bit to the right side and down a little bit, but not too much. Too much down, but a little, because you are going to put room for, ooh, very nice, your Merry Christmas at the top. Okay. Then, if you notice on here, I have those little blue splotches. So how you do that is you can use your Stampin' Write markers, or you can use your Stampin' Blend. So I'm going to use my Pretty Peacock Stampin' Blend. This is my light one. And I'm just going to add some. So this is one of those ones you really definitely need some space so that you don't get your other projects or pieces of paper kind of messy. But you're just going to flick using your cap. You guys see that? I'm just adding a little bit, just like that, to my, you guys see? A little bit of the blue. Love it, love it. It's so fabulous. Okay. All right, muy bien. Then we need to, oh, and look, I did. I said move it all out of the way and not get it, but I did. On the back of this, on my spare tag, I did get some blue. That stuff really travels nice. Okay, and then I need my other piece of spare, and I'm going to do our Merry Christmas. And this is one of those, it's a solid, but I'm going to do it in the Pretty Peacock. This one actually looks really good embossed too. So pretty. I do love how it looks with this. So I'm just going to stamp it close to the edge because I am going to fussy cut it out with my snips. Nice and clean. Again, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Looks so nice. It does. It stamps really nice, but it's really nice. I sometimes feel intimidated by the ones that are like the solid. Okay, so I'm just going to snip it out. And I don't want to leave any of the vanilla showing. So I'm going to snip it from the paper and then make it, and then closer snip it. So you can use your trimmer. I find for the smaller stuff, it's just easier to use your snips, and I'm totally using our snips. So this set is gorgeous, but again, it doesn't have framelits that match these ornaments. They are a punch pack. So it has the punches that match the ornaments, but not the holly. So we're going to actually fussy cut out the holly. And I actually pre-cut some so that you guys don't have to watch me to cut a bunch of them out because these ones are a little more delicate. Okay, so there we go. Now our tag is ready. So for our little, we're not going to put this on yet. We need mini dimensionals. And I did put 4 mini dimensionals on mine. But you can maybe get away with 2. I like 4 because I want it to be solid all the way through. So it doesn't squish in the middle. And it's going to go just like that. But first we need to make our holly pieces. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how you do that. So, again, we're going to use the Memento Black with our really pretty holly piece. Love this. Let's put that nice and inked. And for this card, you need 3 of them. I'll show you guys. Well, I think I only got enough space. Let's see, do I have enough space to do 3 on this one? Totally. I don't think I'm good enough to put 4 on there, but you totally could. So like I said, I've already cut a bunch of these out, so you don't have to watch me cut them. But I wanted to show you how to do to color them with your blends. So I do use quite a few blends. I like to use both of the Granny Apple Green, both the light and the dark, the light Poppy Parade, and the dark Melody Mango for the berries. And then I'm using actually the Just Jade for and the Granny Apple Green for the holly. Okay, so first you want to take your the light Granny Apple Green, and use your big, the brush tip, and then just go by the veins. So I just like, apply some color on the veins of them. Now, if you're quick, you can do two at a time, or just do one at a time. I'll do two. You don't want to, but three I found was almost too much to do at a time, because you don't want your blends to dry too much, because when it's wet, it blends the best. I just need the light Just Jade, and oops, I want the brush tip too on this side. And you're just going to go around the edge. Let me see if oh, here we go. Yep. So just go around the edge, like this. See, love, love, love. Oh. So I go all the way around once with the light Just Jade, just like that. And then after I get all the way around once, and then I'm going to go into the inside a little bit. Just go around. I love coloring. So this one was really fun for me. But like I said, I wanted to do this last year, and then I never got to. Like, we had things happen. Things happen and you don't actually get it. Okay, so then I'm just going to add a little bit of the darker color of just randomly into the places, right? Just not a lot, just a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the dark Granny Apple, and we're going to fill in the spaces a little bit. So again, I'm using the brush tip, and what I love about the blends is that they dry. So you have a little bit where you have some of the white or the lighter Granny Apple showing. You're going to do a lot more of this green on top. There's a little bit of that. Now, if you end up getting too much in one space, and you're like, ooh, I don't like that, I want more of the lighter color, that's when you would use your Fabulous, the color lifter, because that will lighten up your color if that's what you'd like. So I was really surprised how the Just Jade and the Granny Apple really worked well together. I know last year, if I had made this card last year, I would have just used the old olive with, I think, the Granny Apple we had last year. So it was probably with the Granny Apple, but not the Just Jade. I just really like the way it turned out with the Just Jade. Okay, so I've just applied some of this dark color, and then I'm going to go back over it with the light. So just going back in. And just laying more color. And if you can see, the darker color and the lighter color just blend so super lovely together. You don't really see any lines, which I really love, because I know sometimes when you're using your watercolors, I mean, if you use your blender pen, you can get it without having the lines, but it's really hard sometimes. Or even the marker gets a little too dark in places. So I love blends so much because it blends so nice. You guys see that? And then when it lightens up, then after it dries, it'll lighten up even more. So it's really pretty. Okay, so that's how I made the leaves. So I started with the light. I started with the light Granny Apple Green, and then I ended with the light Granny Apple Green. So light Granny Apple Green, light Just Jade, and then the dark Granny Apple Green, and then the light Granny Apple at the end. And then for the berries, you're going to start with your dark Mango Melody. Again, I need the brush and you can just apply the color. And I think because we also start with the very vanilla cardstock too, it does help make this warmer. I like that. So it's a really nice dark, super dark. And then you're going to take the point in the bullet point end of your Poppy Parade and just go around the outside. Just going around the outside of your berries. just kind of going to the outside of the berries. Choo-choo-choo. On top of that mango melody color. Just like that. And then we're going to go back with the mango on top of it again. Mango melody. It kind of lightens that the line of your need to get a new mango melody. There's some new ones. I love the blends. I use them so much. Just like that. And as you can see, then it blurred the lines a little bit, and that's how I got that pretty two-tone berry. That's really lovely. And then I need to fussy cut them out. So the trick with fussy cutting is you want to really move the paper more than your scissors. So I actually move the paper more than the scissors. And with these ones, you really need to, because it's got these little crevices, so distinct. Super nice. I love, love, love. So this is a beautiful stamp set. The lines, it cuts really nice. Okay, and then I usually cut out, so I have a bunch of little bitty pieces. I don't know if you like to cut yours all out in one little strand, but I don't. I usually like to cut it into smaller pieces and then cut it down to smaller pieces. I find it's more maneuverable in my hand if it's smaller. I really do like, although I definitely have to use my glasses to fussy cut nowadays. So pretty. Oh, I love it so much. Oh, so it's kind of, I kind of feel like we've gone straight to the autumn. I've been having a lovely time with all the owls. So you still have a few days left to get the card kit when you order from me, and you get those 3 card kits with the instructions and the PDF and videos so that you can make those 3 cards. I love those owls. They're so super cute. Super cute. And again, there's some coloring involved in those. I love, love, love. Whether you use your blends or your color pencils or your markers, those owls color so pretty. There we go. So there we go. That's how I've cut that. Isn't that pretty? So like I said, I already have a bunch. So you guys don't have to watch me cut out a ton of them. Well, the 3 that we need. Okay, so then we just need to assemble our card. So on the back of our label here, I need to use the big dimensionals. I am going to put a bunch on here. I do go a little dimensional crazy. I used to feel like, oh, I use so much. And then I did that one project where you put everything up on dimensionals, and then you feel like, oh, well, I thought I used a lot of dimensionals. But that project uses all of the dimensionals. Okay. I do love dimensionals. But when you're putting them on these big pieces, I like it so it doesn't feel like it's going to squish. So, okay. So I want this to go on here, but not. So I've got the points go to almost edge to edge. And I want it to go a little bit, so it's kind of in the center of the card. Over top of this cute little, brightly gleaming piece. Just like that. Muy bien! Okay. And then that's going to tuck out. All right, and then these ones are a little more tricky on how I want them to be placed. So what I've found helps for me is I'm going to use glue dots to attach them. And then I'm going to, like, if put a piece of of a small mini behind it. But I don't ever know exactly where I want my dimensionals to go when I'm like figuring out how I want my piece to go. So you see here, like this one doesn't have a lot, so it doesn't need one. But this one really does. So I'm just going to get one of my little minis. And I'm just going to tuck it underneath. Just like that. There's enough space. And now I've got it, so it's got the, it's holding it up and it's stuck without being too difficult to try. And then again for this one too, I like to put the glue dots on because that helps when you're positioning it. And then I'll go back if I need to and add a stamped dimensional. I found that I was trying to put the stamped dimensionals on, and then if I forget where it goes exactly, and if I wanted to move it, then we get caught. So I find it's just easier to do it afterwards. So I'm just going to lay these on top of each other so that it doesn't look like there's 1,000 berries, but just a few. Just like that. And then this one definitely needs another little near the tip of this one. He needs one. Just don't want to pull your leaf too much because you don't want it to. So this one's a little bit more tricky because I don't want to catch my bow in it. So keep that in mind when you're sticking this down. You don't want to catch your bow in the bottom of this leaf. But you definitely want it to not be flopping around in the wind so it can get caught on stuff. There we go. Awesome. Now it overlaps on top and I'm going to go ahead and cut these since I got that side done. I don't want it to be, because like right here I grabbed it and it unraveled. And this is the most wily of, I agree with. I totally agree with Lisa. It's super wily. It's so pretty though. And then it comes undone. So the more you touch it, see how it starts to go. So I think after I'm finished, I'll probably trim this one up again a little bit because it's kind of off the page. Well, let me do it right now. There we go. And now you have like all these little pieces, like golden hair. Super pretty. Okay, muy bien. Okay, and then we need to add our Merry Christmas. We've already got that one up on dimensional, so we just need to take the paper off. And that one's going to go at the top of the label over our holly leaf, which is why we didn't want to put the holly leaf up on dimensionals. Then you'd have to do like two. Uh-oh. I need to not get too. Make sure it's there. We go. Above the jolly, just like that. Sweet, isn't that pretty? And then we just need to do the last leaf over here. Actually, I think it's like this. Yep. I just want to make sure because you don't want to make. I'm going to definitely put one of these on the end of this one. Which way do I want that to go? Like that. But you want to make sure you get your leaves are actually on your card. So just be careful with that. And I think this one I can safely put these on. Now that I've said that and I've put them on there, maybe it won't be, but we'll see. Maybe it'll be okay. That's the fun part of crafting. Sometimes you're just not sure how it will go. These little papers are everywhere. Okay, so I put a couple glue dots to hold it in place. Before I push it down, I'm going to make sure. Oh, there we go. I don't want it to show. I want to make sure that I get my leaf on my paper. And then you have to take the paper off. Muy bien. Okay, there you go. How super cute is that? Love, love, love. So pretty. Okay, so now we need to add the gold on our inside piece. So here's our piece of very vanilla inside piece. I didn't find one in this one to put on the inside as much. They have a deck the halls with boughs of holly, and then it's the Merry Christmas and be a jolly this season. We have a bunch of other like the itty bitty Christmas is a great one. So if I was going to send this one, I'll probably put another Merry Christmas on the inside, and then or depending on who I'm sending it to, probably would determine which Merry Christmas I would put on the inside or sentiment. So I'm actually going to leave this one blank. I don't usually do. I'm going to add my inside with a little bit of glue. I love using the glue because you can position. But man, if I try to use the glue with the metal or with any of the foil, it always seems to spooge out and then get stuck, and it never works really good, unfortunately. I always make a mess with it, which I hate. So, isn't that pretty? Oh, okay, but so we need our craft sheet again. I find though with the seal, I was not as careful as I should have been when I was using the snail, but I have been much better at making sure with the seal that I use my craft sheet. And that works pretty good. Yay! Look at that. Awesome. Okay. So I'm just going to add that to the bottom. Bring that theme through. Very nice. And then probably whatever I decide to stamp on the inside, I'll probably stamp on the back when I'm stamping the sentiment, because that way, if I'm trying to sell these, I'd also put in the Stampin' Up! Logo on the back. That way, I'll know what's on the inside by what's on the back. Usually, I have that. Usually, try to do it that way. But isn't that pretty? I just love the way the blends with those holly. They just turn out so pretty, so pretty. Love, love, love. So there you go. And as I think I had the, oh, here it is. So this is the one that I did that has it in the pretty peacock. I really like it better in the black. I think it looks so much better in the black. So there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little quick casing of last year's catalog. But you can still find this. This sample is on the website when you go on and look at the Christmas cleaning set, which is always lovely to see that. And I hope you guys enjoyed that quick. I'm so excited I got to actually make that card. That's one of the fun things when they bring it back. So also today is the 10th, and that means that it is the last day to get your paper pumpkin. So if you haven't gotten it yet, or if you are a paper pumpkin subscriber and you want more, today is the day to change your quantity or to cancel or to subscribe. So today's last day, and I'm so excited about this paper pumpkin because we make 20 treat packs, but they have enough stuff in it to make it either Halloween or Thanksgiving or an autumn theme, which means we're gonna have so many extra pieces to make cards. Like, I'm so excited. I rarely make all the treat packages. I usually convert them to cards. So I'm very excited. It's gonna be, and you can see in the little advertisement there, there's like a little cat. I love that. The black cat is fabulous. I just love Halloween. So I'm very excited. So today is the last day. So you can go to my website if you're not a subscriber and click and get in because it's fabulous. And then don't forget, we have our, I need to learn better at how to do my little, I have these fabulous, I use Manicam instead of Switcher. A lot of the ladies use Switcher, and I have Manicam, and it has these fabulous little tags. But I don't have an assistant to help me, so I have to try to figure out how to do it myself. I'm not that great at it yet, but I'm trying. So we have don't forget that our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is now available, as well as the magnetic plate. And oh my goodness, the magnetic plate is so awesome. So I finally got mine, and I used mine, and I tried it on the scary spiders that is in that All Hallows Night stamp set. And you can see, I should probably change it back down so you guys can see. It is, I used mine, and it is a self-healing mat. As you can see, I still have my little pieces on here, where you can see the spider. And so like our precision plate we had for the Big Shot, you don't use it over and over again in the same place. You need to like move them around, but it is a full magnet. So anywhere you put it works for any of these things. But let me tell you, before I had this, I tried a ton of those spiders, and I couldn't get any of them to come out right. They kept moving, and then I made a ton. Made a ton. I thought I needed a ton of spiders, but Halloween's coming up. So I'm very excited. So it works so fabulous. So this is $25, and that's the one extra plate that you can get. It doesn't actually come with your machine, because when you get your machine, it comes with all of the plates that you need to make your fabulous projects with your new cut and emboss machine. And then, of course, until the 15th, I have the Have a Hoop bundle, the card bundle. I'll have actually more bigger examples of the cards, and the things that I made to make the cards will be up on my website too later. But if you spend the 51.25 in my store, I will send these to you. And then if you spend $75 in my store, I will also send you a free Wink of Stella. So I make these super cute Have a Hoot cards. They're super cute, and I send you all the stuff that you need to make them. You just need to stamp your owls. So that's going on. And then in the end of September, I have the In the Pines, and then the first in October will be the Merry Moose. October is when Supernatural begins again. I don't know if there's any fans out there of Supernatural, but they have, it's the last couple episodes, I think, and it starts again in October. So I am going to be making, I'll probably have several cards that do a moose and squirrel in honor of the end of Supernatural. So that's super awesome. Okay. I don't want to have such a terrible time with my little manicam today. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's cards. And if you need anything, you can use the September host code. And if you spend that $51.25, I'll send you out those cards or more in, you can get the card kits, which are pretty awesome. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and happy crafting. Bye.